Hi, I'm Michelle Barker from the Research Software Alliance, and today I'll be talking about our work and how we could contribute to this conversation about advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion in the research software engineering landscape. I would like to start by acknowledging the Gimoy Wallabara Yidinji and Yiragunji as the traditional custodians of the land on which I live, learn, and work in Australia. I pay respect to their elders, both past and present. The Research Software Alliance, or RISA, has the vision that research software and those who develop and maintain it are recognized and valued as fundamental and vital to research worldwide. We achieve this through our mission of bringing research software communities together to collaborate on the advancement of the research software ecosystem. Thus, this workshop is an example of bringing together some part of the community to discuss this topic of interest to the broader ecosystem. We work across three different areas: people, policy, and infrastructure, and are usually running some task forces or projects in each of these. We were founded in 2018. And our legal structure is that we are a fiscally sponsored project of Code for Science and Society. The logos of our supporters are shown here, who provide a range of financial and in-kind contributions, and our partners are the Research Data Alliance. Here's an overview of a few of our recent achievements. At the start of 2022, we founded the Research Software Funders Forum with support from the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. And we currently have representatives from 30 different funding organizations talking about how we can improve practices in this area. We've co-led the development of the Fair for Research Software Principles with the Research Data Alliance and Force 11, a community consultation engaging over 500 people. We've worked to ensure that research software is included in UNESCO and OECD recommendations and sharing guidelines for policymakers and other stakeholders related to COVID-19. We also produce a range of blogs, responses to requests for information, white papers, etc. And this is an example of one of our recent blogs called "Research Software is Essential for Research Data, so how should governments respond?" This is an example of a piece of work that we undertook in 2021 called the RISA People Roadmap. It was supported by the Wellcome Trust, and it aimed to identify collaboration opportunities in a range of people-themed areas. And we defined people-themed areas as related to these 5 themes: incentives, communities, skills and training, infrastructure, and policy. We profiled 28 initiatives to understand that the work they did in each of those 5 areas, including asking them what their diversity, equity, inclusivity programs or strategic aims were. And most of them had some focus on that and some programs in that area. To come back to the broader question of how can RISA help take forward the conversations that the Lawrence Center workshop and the broader public conversation through the diverse webinar series is enabling. As our mission is to bring research software communities together to collaborate on the advancement of the research software ecosystem, we'd be delighted to continue to play a role in catalyzing or facilitating discussions or projects or collaborations in this particular area. A question for the audience to help frame your thinking: what outcomes can you or your organization or your team or your community or initiative not achieve on your own? Or where do you need to collaborate with others to influence broader processes? Then to follow on, where could you contribute to helping to achieve those outcomes in partnership with others? And where could you concretely provide energy and effort? And the answers to these questions should help us consider how we could take forward all the shared learnings from these discussions and think about continuing to move this forward long term. So thank you very much for your time. There's some information here on how to subscribe to the RISA newsletter to stay up to date. And there's a link to the copy of the slides. Thank you very much.